Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Queen of Web channel, where we make web development simple even if you are practicing on your phone. Today, we are diving into Flexbox. Flexbox is a powerful tool for creating responsive layouts in CSS. So it's another value for display property. Specifically, today we're going to learn justify content, align items, and flex direction. And inshallah, we're going to practice building a simple layout together. But before we start, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. All right, let's get coding. So this is our HTML here. So I've created a new folder and I name it Flex. So inside that folder, I have index.html, then I have style.css. I need to first bring my HTML snippet, then I will rename the title into Flexbox. So I want to link my CSS at once, so that, and then we have it here, style.css. Having done this, then I just want to declare some div, and that is what I'll be styling. So the first div, I'll give it a class name of content. And inside this div, I'm going to have three other divs, and I'm going to give all of them a class name of box. So allow, say this is a box one. So I'm just going to repeat this three more times. So I will change this to box two, this to box three, and then this to box four. So having done this, so first of all, I want to style all the elements by using this generic. So when you style this asterisk, it means you are giving that style to every element on that HTML. So you are giving it every element this styling. All right. So I want to say box sizing, then I'll give it border box. Then I want to give everything margin of 0 and also padding of 0. Okay, so having done that, let me come to the body and give it some styling as well. So I just want to give it font family. I want to use Arial and sans serif. Now that I've done this, let me go to container and give all of them a common styling. Yeah. First, let me give our container. All right. No. So for this container now, it's not a common styling now. For this container, I am giving it a height of 100 viewport, which is So this way, our container is going to be occupying the whole height of our web page, just the whole height of the web page. So you won't need to be scrolling down and up to see what you have inside container. All right, then for this, after this, I'm going to give it a border, and let me say 2 pixel, so just to make it visible. Okay, so we have it here now. I don't know that I've not refreshed the page. So we have box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4. Where did I mistakenly put this Z? Okay, so let me check my HTML. Pick all of that. Yeah, so we have this. Then I want to style the box. So they all have the same class name, only their content differs. So I only have the first one with the content of box one, and followed like that for box two, box three, box four. So for the box, so I want to give them background color of so many background color. Okay, then so I'll be giving all of them color so that they'll be very visible. So let me just give them white, and that is FFF. Yeah, then padding. So I have explained it before. Margin 0, padding 0 for all the elements means that we don't want them to come with a default padding and margin at all. So we want everything to be on 0, so that whatever padding or margin we are adding to it will just be that. All right. So now I want to adding 20 pixel now. So let me give it margin 2. It's a 10 pixel. What other thing? I want to give it text align or center, so as to have it this way. So you realize that because it is a div, so that is what I want you to first realize. Because it is a div, and a div by default comes with a display of block. So definitely each of this div would be occupying the whole width without sharing it with anybody. All right, so that is why you have it this way. But let's say you have something like this and you want them to be beside each other, and then you want to be able to give them a lot of stylings. Then there is this display. This is not issue of inline now. So there is this display we call, and the display will be declared inside the container of this element. If I want them to be beside each other now, I can just come here and then give them a display of inline. and then all of them will just be beside one another, and that is not what we want to achieve here. So instead, what we want to achieve is that we want them to be flexible inside their container. So we want the container to be able to say, okay, when you are two, when you are to behave like this is the space you should occupy and all of that. So we don't actually want to give it a specific. Okay, let's go into it here now. So it is inside the container that you will say display, and now you say flex. So immediately you say flex, you see them, they come to stay beside one another. They come to stay beside one another. So, our container has three child. It has four child boxes. The container is set to display, and which makes all the children align in a row by default. That is the default. But in case you don't want this by default, you can say flex direction. So flex direction can be column, it can be column reverse, it can be row, it can be reverse. So let's try each and every one of them. So let's say column. So for column, they are going to be like this, and then for column it means we want the arrangement to be in column from here to here to here, so it will be from up to down instead of right to left. But when we change it from column to row, then we're going to have it this way. This is the default, right? When you declare a flex box, when you declare a display flex in a container, this is the default that all the children of that container are going to take. All right. Then we also have row reverse. Row reverse will still maintain row, but making the last one coming first. Like box 4 is coming before box 3, before box 2, and before box 1, right? Then the same thing can happen for column reverse. So for column reverse, so we are going to have it another way around as well. Like the 4 before, so it's going to start from the end to the beginning instead of from the beginning to the end, just like that. All right. So now let's learn some properties that. So I just explained that for you, whatever we want to do with flex direction, depending on how you want your element to be arranged. Okay. So, but now let's control the horizontal space between these items using justify content. So there is a property called justify content. And when you say justify content and you say center, justify content center moves all the flex items to the center horizontally, just like this. So before the center, it's just like this, started from the beginning and this way. But now, since we added the center, it's going to be at the middle. It's going to be at the middle. So another property for justify content is we can say flex start. Justify content flex start. So flex start is the default as well, because it's going to start from this side here from the beginning and go on like that. You can also say flex end. And for flex end, so it's going to start. So it started from here, but it's moving to the end. So it acts to flex to the end side instead of the start side. Okay. We can also say justify content space between. So it depends on what you want to achieve. Okay, let's use space around first. What space around does is that all they have equal space around, all the items have equal space around them. So they're going to, so if I enlarge this place now, you see that they're still going to, the space will be bigger. But so now, let's say the space between this place and this place, let's say it's 30 pixel. So that means it's going to have 30 pixel here and 30 pixel at this side. So you realize that what we have in between box 1 and box 2 is double of what we have at this side, because each of them have all this around them: 30 pixel left, 30 pixel right of box 1, 30 pixel of right left of box 2, 30 pixel right of box 2, and it continues like that. So that is what um justify content space around does. Space around. So you're going to see another one now. So this one is not the space around. So we want to say space between. So space between, we push space between will give equal space between items, not around items. So space between will give equal space between items. So let's say all spaces that are available for them to occupy this whole width is just let's say 60 pixel, and then we have 4 elements here. we have 4 items here, so meaning that they are going to have 3 spaces in between them. So it's going to divide that 60 pixel into equal, and this part will be 20 pixel, 20 pixel, 20 pixel. It's different from space around. Space around would divide that 60 pixel into 4, and each of them will be taking 15 pixel each, meaning that their left will be 7.5 pixel, their right will be 7.5 pixel, like that. So all the 4 items will take it like that. So another one is another property, another value for justify content is space evenly. So space evenly give equal space everywhere, like from the beginning here. So the size of space we have here would equal to this, would equals to this, would equals to this, would equal to this. So in this case, it's going to divide the available 60 pixel space into 5, because we have 4 items and space from the beginning to the end. We are going to have 5 spaces, space before the start of all the items, and another space after all the items, and 3 spaces between the 4 items, making 5 spaces. And that way, it's going to divide the 60 pixel into 5 and give them space equally like that. All right. So now that is horizontal alignment. This is horizontal alignment. Let's go to vertical alignment. Let's play a little bit with vertical alignment. For vertical alignment, we don't use notify content to declare that. We use align item. So in this case now, let me say center. And then immediately you see that it reduces their length, because it is telling them that, okay, vertically you all should be centered. So vertically you should be centered. All right. So align items center moves all items to the center vertically within the container. It won't go beyond that. So we can also use flex start for align items, and it's going to move all of them up to the start of that page. If you change it to flex end, so it's going to align them to the bottom, not the top now, to the bottom. So if you give it let's say stretch, so these are other values that we can give align items. So for stretch, it's going to remain like this. So just like that is like the default. So item stretch to fill the whole container vertically. Let's try to build a simple navbar using Flexbox. This helps us apply justify content and align items in a real world layout. Let's go to our HTML, and then we have this div. No, we want to do a kind of navbar. So let me just delete this. Since it's a navbar, so we are going to be declaring nav, and then I'm going to give it a class name of navbar, and then it is inside this navbar that I'm going to put everything that I want. So now pay attention. I want to have another div for my logo, and then let me say dot logo, okay, and I will call it my brand. So let me say this is my logo, and probably I want it to be at the left side of my page separately, and other navigation bar, like other links, navigation links, I want them to be at the right side. So now to have that, those ones will be inside a UL, and the UL I'm going to give it a class name or nav links. So it is inside this UL. So in this case now, when you declare flex for this navbar, that is the container, it is going to affect this logo, this div, and this UL alone. So it's not going to affect whatever that is inside this UL, because that one is not a child to navbar. Are you getting it now? All right. So now inside this UL now, I want to have some list. Let me see home, and then let me say about, and then let me say contact, or probably let me say services. Yeah. So now let's go check this on our web page. So you just have all of them like this, but all of them are not, they don't have the same parent. It is only this my brand and the container of home about contact services, just their container, which is this UL, that are inside the same parent, right? So let's go to style the CSS. So first of all, I want to style my navbar. So dot navbar, and then so I want to style what is my navbar. That is the main container of everything, okay? So and I want to say display. You will see what I'm saying now. I will say display, then I will say flex. So you see this display flex, so will affect my brand and just the container of all this, not all of them. If all these ones are not inside another container, all of them will have been arranged horizontally like this. But no, you have to declare flex inside this one's container, which is the UL, before this one can be arranged horizontally. So justify content. So this space, this time I will say space between, because that is what will put them at each edge. So this one will be at the first end and this one will be at the other end, like that. So even if I enlarge the screen size, so each and every one of them will maintain first end, last end. That is what space between will do. So having done that, I would say I can use align items too, and I would center them. Let me give it, because it's an header, so let me give it a background color. Okay, then I will give it another color for it to be visible. I will give it color white. You can write it or use Xcode. Okay, so that is what we have here. What other thing can I give it? Let me just give it padding for it to move away from the edge. So the padding, I want to give 15 pixel top and bottom, 15 pixel. So I've given it 15 pixel. Like this, it's going to give all of them, both top, right, bottom, and left. It's going to give all of them 15 pixel. But no, I just want 15 pixel for top and bottom, then 30 pixel for left and right. Okay. So now, having done this, I can now go to logo. Remember, logo is this my brand. So I can then style it how I want it. I can enlarge the size to make it actually look like a logo. Now let me just say font size 24 pixel. Yeah. Then font weight. I want it to be bold. Yeah. So that it will look like a logo. Now I want to style my nav links. So it is styling these nav links now that will make these ones to be displayed the way they're supposed to be displayed, which is side by side. Are you getting it now? So display flex, and that is going to arrange them like this. They don't have enough space, so I've display flex. Then I want to say the list style. You see this dot, I don't want it, so you can dot say none, and it's going to remove all the dot. Then I can give them gap 20 pixel. So that is the gap that will be between all of them. Can you see that? Very perfect. So it looks exactly like a web page header now, right? So just with Flexbox, you can achieve this effortlessly without disturbing yourself. So you can see the justify content pushes the logo to the left and the links to the right without any stress. So it is different from you just using margin in between them and all of that. No, margin will not solve that, because immediately you enlarge the screen or the screen becomes smaller, then yeah, the style is going to change. All right. Also, align item center. It keeps everything vertically aligned in the nav bar. So you will see that they now have the same space up and down. So they are centralized inside the nav bar. So if we didn't put that, they won't be well aligned. Let me remove that for you so that you would realize that this logo is closer to top than bottom, and this one is in between. But with that, everything will be aligned properly. With align item center, everything will be aligned properly. Then we used gap 20 pixels to space the nav items evenly. Yeah, was that easy to follow? If yes, drop a yes, Queen of Verb. Say yes, Queen of Verb in the comments. Let me know if you are able to follow this easily. Alhamdulillah, now you know how to use justify content and align items like a pro. With just a few lines of CSS, Flexbox gives you total control over your layout. So you practice more by building different sections like navbars, footers, or card layout. You can look for any website and see how they arrange their header and see if you can try something that can give you the similar result. All right. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss our next tutorials, inshallah. Even if you are learning on your phone, you are all welcome. Allah make it easy for you to grow in your skills and purpose. I mean, until next time, stay consistent. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Bye bye.